Finals preview.
I think the Celtics will be there. I would take the field in the West, so I would say no.
Okay.
Again, I'm going to stick with what I said a couple minutes ago. Brian and Stevie can fight me off. I think it's going to be very, very hard to win 6 postseason games and then get to the final. You got to win 6 more. I think there's a space in between where you got to gain some experience. Just to get to a conference final would be an achievement enough. And I think when push comes to shove, I don't trust them in the last 5 minutes of a huge playoff game on the road to get a big basket when they have to get the big basket. They didn't do it last year against Dallas, and I don't trust them to do that when seasons are on the line.
Yeah.
And everybody's focused. I don't trust them. So I will say somebody else in the West besides the Celtics.
Wendy?
So, Molly, this is my pick, but I'm not pounding the table. I think this is there is openings for other teams. I think there's 5 or 6 teams that can get to the finals. That's more than it is in most years. And I think tonight is actually a fair way to look at the Thunder. Now, if you believe what Mad Dog just said, that they can't get baskets under pressure, you could be right about that, Mad Dog. I can't guarantee it. Watch what happens tonight, because Jalen Williams is out, and if the Thunder have a weakness, it's that they're too reliant offensively on Shai. They play heavy isolation basketball. They rely on him a lot to create a lot of their offense. They're the number 4 offense in the league. That's awesome. That's why they've got 50-some wins already. But they're 27th in assist rate. Basically, they give the ball to him and let him create it. Let him get to the line. Let him create his mid-range shots. They don't move the ball around. They don't have anybody in their core rotation that shoots over 40% from 3. And so when Jalen Williams isn't there, the game plan is simple. You force the ball out of Shai's hands. That's what happened Monday night when Williams got hurt. He didn't play in the second half. The Nuggets double-teamed Shai and said somebody else is going to beat us. And it's possible in a playoff setting that Jalen Williams isn't a reliable enough player. And that's what they were talking about yesterday with you, Stephen A., at Gill's operation. That's a reasonable argument. And tonight is a great opportunity for the Thunder to prove that they're more than their limited offense has shown at times this season.
I totally believe in Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. He's a superstar, and if things continue on the trend that it's in, regardless of what Gil's Arena says, mad respect to them, I'm going with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander as my MVP, so long as things don't change in terms of the trajectory he's on compared to Nikola Jokic, who obviously is number 2 in the mix. Let's not forget that Jason Tatum deserves consideration as well, considering the way that he's performed, along with Donovan Mitchell, the best player on the best team in the NBA. I think they made that valid point yesterday. I completely agree with them. Having said all of that, my attitude is this. Boston is the reigning defending NBA champions. They should be the favorites to win it all again. They are my favorites. I think that in order for them to beat Cleveland, however, even though the Boston Celtics are an elite road team, I see Cleveland, if they were to get to a 7th game, beating Boston in the NBA Finals. Therefore, Boston would have to take them out in 6 games in order to get to the NBA Finals. I think that Boston versus OKC should be the favorite. I'd give that about a 60% chance. The 40% chance that I would throw is Cleveland versus the LA Lakers. I think the way that we've seen LeBron James perform, and we all know at this particular moment in time, I have no interest in throwing any love towards LeBron James' way, but I am an objective viewer, and I am going to be fair. We see the way that LeBron James has been balling. We see the way that Luka Doncic could potentially come on strong. With the way J.J. Redick and his coaching staff has held these dudes accountable, I think that the Los Angeles Lakers, healthy, have the potential to come out the West. I don't give them a better chance than OKC, but it would not surprise me at all, Wendy. I'm giving a 40% shot to Cleveland versus L.A. I'm giving a 60% shot to Boston versus OKC. That's where I'm at with it.
And I'm giving some percentage, 20-ish, to Denver, because of my respect for Nikola Jokic. And I know that they are thin. I know that things got to fall right for them. I have a big belief in Jokic.
That's why I don't. That's why I don't, because they're thin. That's the only reason. Not because of Jokic, not because of even Jamal Murray. They're just a bit thin. I don't trust their depth, and that's why I haven't picked Denver.
All right.
Yeah, but there's a lot going for these teams that we're going to see tonight, Molly. There's a
7:30
lot of reasons to
Eastern
watch this game.
On ESPN, we've had a lot of potential finals previews this past week. A lot.
Because you got to want to score touchdowns and have 1,000 yards of receptions and have 20 TDs. And half these receivers, they leave the great QB. How in the world could you leave Aaron Rodgers as Adams did? He's been bouncing around. Maybe he's found a home finally ever since. Diggs got mad at Buffalo and he left Josh Allen. How do you leave Josh Allen? I know Stroud's decent, but you left Josh Allen. Tyreek Hill, he left Mahomes. He's the greatest quarterback we've seen. He left Mahomes to go to Miami, which he has not won a playoff game yet. Now, I understand the Seattle scenario with the QB spot is not so secure. Smith left, who knows, on Donald, 2 bad games at the end of last year, so he didn't leave Warren Moon. I understand that. But he went to Pittsburgh, where they had Fields, they got rid of him, and we've been sitting here for 2 hours with Mr. Clark debating who should be the QB this year. And if it's Tomlin's fault, if it's Russell Wilson's fault, where's Rodgers fit in? So Metcalf gets the 150. He's going to go to Pittsburgh, and I guarantee you by week 5, when Wilson can't give him the ball, he's going to be moaning and groaning. What am I doing here? But he gets no targets, for crying out loud. If you're a receiver, you got to go to a place where the QB gets you the football. That means Cincinnati, Baltimore, the Rams, Philadelphia to a certain degree, Buffalo, Kansas City. That is where you go. To go where there's no QB is ridiculous. Because the money, you can't take the money on the field. And you're going to be sitting on that field in the middle of November on a bad team getting 2 catches a game.
Yeah.
Malik Neighbors, anybody? That's number 1.
Oh, you make a strong case there. RC, you take it first.
The craziest thing is how close he gets to this camera without hitting it. That's amazing control. But listen, I agree with him. But it is about the money. And you think about somebody like A.J. Brown. When he made that switch to Philadelphia, Jalen Hurts wasn't quite Jalen Hurts yet. And so he was able to get with Jalen Hurts and grow and get the money. And get the money. So it's about going to the right place. And I don't know if all of these wide receivers are leaving these places just for the money. But when you have a sure thing like a Patrick Mahomes,
you can't leave.
As long as you're
That's
making
crazy.
the right type of money, you'll continue to make it longer because he'll get you the rock.
Absolutely right. All right, Mr. Smith, let me hear your thoughts. Go ahead. Oh, don't give me that look.
It's ridiculous. The fact of the matter is that this is football. It's a very physical sport. It takes a toll on your body, could compromise you physically for years upon years after your playing days are over. And yeah, you can't take the money on the football field with you, but let me tell you where you can take it, Doggy. You can take it to a palatial mansion in Connecticut. You could take it to the tropical islands.
You could
take it to Europe or a boatload of places. You certainly could take it to Miami.
You
could take it to a lot of different places. So, I mean, for somebody that's been making money like yourself, though, to sit up there and lament dudes for getting money, very ashamed. Very ashamed. Seems a bit hypocritical to me.
And it wasn't Delta on the way back from the Caribbean, I promise you that.
At least you admitted it. There you go.
I admitted it.
There you go. You admitted it.